And perhaps the most difficult position of all in trying to select just one man out of the great players in the past 25 years was centre-half forward. We've boiled it down, or the World of Sport panel has, to 3 final nominations, and they are, from Footscray, Mr Football, Ted Whitten; from Richmond, one of the all-time greats, Royce Hart; and from Essendon, Kenny Fraser.
For a record 321 games and 20 years, Mr Football, Ted Whitten, earned a reputation as being the most complete footballer the great Australian game had ever witnessed. Whitten could bob up in any position and be the match winner, but it was at centre-half forward that Whitten produced his most breathtaking displays. For 14 seasons he led Footscray. In 12 he was playing coach, but the grand final in 1961 was the closest he came to that elusive flag. In 2 decades, Whitten paid dearly for the right to be named the best player in the land, collecting 7 broken wrists, 5 broken noses, 3 broken ankles, 2 broken collarbones, a fractured cheekbone, 3 bouts of concussion, and countless minor injuries. The superb hands and powerful left foot of Royce Hart controlled the Richmond forward lines for more than a decade. The youngster who crossed Bass Strait for a suit and half a dozen shirts in 1966 emerged in 1967 as the most exciting prospect in league football for years. His dominance at centre-half forward and his ability to counter big match pressure played a huge part in 4 Richmond premierships. A target for his teammates and the centre of much attention from opponents, Hart was forced to prematurely retire in 1977 because of chronic knee injuries. 4 successive years of sustained prominence in the Brownlow medal count reflected Ken Fraser's style of play. From 1962 until 1965, Essendon's star centre-half forward looked capable of becoming the first man in attack to take the medal. He was runner-up to Alastair Lord in 1962 and tied for second place 2 years later. In 1963, he finished 7th, and in Essendon's premiership year of 65, he came 4th. His brilliance and scrupulously fair play brought rewards to the Bombers in the shape of 2 flags, and Fraser had the honour of leading them to the second.
Well, that really was a difficult decision, I'm sure. Ron Casey, who is our centre-half forward in the Hall of Fame team?
Selected at centre-half forward in our Channel 7 television Hall of Fame team, Ted Whitten. Well, Ted, firstly, let's clear one thing up. He's sitting down there. Who is Mr Football, Ted Whitten or Ron Barassi?
Well, look, the situation is the late Norm Smith, and he always said that when Ron and I played together against each other, there was never a contest because it was always one against the other. But I've got a lot of great respect for Ron, and I always respect him as a player, as an opponent, and as a teammate when we were playing interstate football.
Ted, let's go back in time. We saw in the opener that you certainly weren't afraid of dishing it out. Do you remember your first game against Mopsy Fraser?
Well, I'll never forget the first game against Mopsy Fraser, and he was one guy that said to me, he said, in the first 30 seconds of the game, he said to me, I got a free kick, and he said to me, kick this goal, son, it'll be the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life. And I went back to have my kick for goal, and I didn't know whether I was going to kick a drop kick, a punt kick, torpedo, or whatever it was going to be, because when we ran out in the ground, they had Rossum and all that on their hand, and I just dropped it to my foot and it went through. He said, son, you won't see the game out. And halfway through the third quarter, I was running for a mark with my back towards everything, and he said, son, this is it. The lights went out. But I just want to say, if I can say, Sandy, tonight is a magnificent thing to see Kevin Murray, Dr. Alan Aylett, Graham Arthur, and Neil Roberts, and all my mates that I played with. 25 years of football is a magnificent achievement. And Channel 7, congratulations, Ron Casey. And for everybody, I said the Lord Boy from Geelong and Polly Farmer and Barry Cable, like, football has been magnificent. I can think of the big shows we had on interstate trips, which was great for football in general. Is that right, Toad? That's the president of the league.
Teddy, congratulations.
Thank you for being here tonight. I just want to praise. I just think football is magnificent. Hello.
We enjoy having you. Ted Whitten, centre half forward in Sevens Hall of Fame.
Who was he?